So, but you have to track it, because if you don't track it, then you don't know where you're dropping the ball. You can guess, but you're also guessing on your paycheck at that point in time, and that doesn't seem like a really good idea.
So then when you start tracking that, then you'll start a pipeline, and you'll be able to say, okay, met with this person, they're 6 months out.
Right.
So then you'll be able to really key in on your follow-up. And remember the fortunes and the follow-up.
Yeah, and the good thing for you, David, is we're on Follow-Up Boss, and Follow-Up Boss is gonna set your follow-up, so you don't have to remember it. It's gonna say, hey, don't forget to call John Smith today, or don't forget to text him. Oh,
Command does that.
bring that with some gusto, girl.
Command does that. Command does that at a higher level.
Whatever.
I'm gonna fight you on that. Yeah, it is. Now, it is a bigger system, right?
But it does do.
Yeah.
Follow Boss is simple and
Yeah.
easy, and Command is intriguing and.
And it's more involved in the back end too, which Follow-Up Boss is not. But don't worry about that. The point is, you have a good CRM. Use it.
What else are you Command? Learn Command. Words. Mark my words. Learn Command.
These are I almost brought a box of them. I was like, nah, never mind.
From your classes and from
They were.
Sheena's
I have them in
classes,
different colors.
classes, the
Best reviews. The best reviews. Like, I don't think we'd be where we are right now without those classes. It is so important to make sure that we're they love you more. Yes, they love you. Our admin classes are so good. Like, you're top notch. Yes. Okay. Till 10 back.
I will say we've been trying to have it. And I'm constantly pushing Sheena and the teams. Like, I love that. But like, what could we have done that? I mean, it could be a great class. And then I come back.
You can always do better.
And I'm like, could we have? And she was like, no, calm down. Calm down. Take a seat. Take a lead.
Get the W. Put it on the board. We'll talk about it next week.
All right, y'all. It's 11. It's 11.
It should be up there beside the computer. We just like to see you walk around in circles.
That's great. And y'all know already that this is what I think.
Do your thing, girl.
All right, guys. If you didn't know, today's May 12th.
Oh, I don't
Welcome
know.
to Television Team meeting. Woo!
We'll get it. Hang on a second. What? Can you tell us what the internet password is? Because she.
All lowercase.
There you go. Thank you. Sorry. Carry on.
This is important because I know we got a lot of new faces in here. At the bottom, this is your support team. These people are
Extremely important in your life. So you need to lean on them, scratch me, and scratch Greg.
You're not a whole lot of help. You're gonna call me and I'm gonna redirect you to the right person. But no, we are here to help. Sheena is our productivity coach. If you don't know her, this is her. Kendra Norman is one of us. We're grateful we have her for a reason. So Princeton is downstairs. He runs a lot of tests for all of you guys. You have issues. I heard that you had an issue the other day. Did he help you? Okay. Natalie is the operations director. So realistically, any questions that go to Natalie, then she's going to redirect to the person. So that's us. And of course, guys, you've got my cell phone, you've got my email. I'm always here to try to help. And teachers command, you need to make those classes. Because if you ask me the same question twice, I'm going to point you to the video. And if we don't have the video, we'll make it. Because if you're asking twice, somebody else is taking it. Right? So with that being said, we have launched our YouTube site. Yeah!
That's right. Yeah.
So for all of you who've been on YouTube for 15 years, this is exciting.
Okay.
I understand YouTube's been around for a million years. I did it.
But we have it.
We'll find out though.
And our
classes on there. So most importantly, it's going to be recordings for your for evaluations of whatever you need, contracts, command classes, all of it.
Yes.
Added resource for you. What we're working on now is making sure we're labeling those videos so that you can just go in and make sure it's what you need. And you don't have to go through a million videos to find it. So we're just going to elevate it. But if you search, you'll find it. It's not 100% yet. We're about 55.
Is it Keller Williams command? Like which website?
On YouTube. So we're not 100% yet. I want to more of it. I want it more organized and just easier. Right? So we're not there, but we have launched it. Also, next week's meeting, I'm going to be asking for Google reviews. So our Google page will be up and running at a high level. And what we're going to do is, if you go on and leave us a Google review, we're going to go on and leave you a Google review. Each person on the staff will do it. We want to help you guys, I guess, optimize that here. We try to help you. Right?
We had our first client find us through ChatGPT this week. So we've been SEO in the process.
This is why it's important. So we'll have to testimonies.
And you guys will have to understand how important it is. AI is becoming a huge thing. Your Google reviews is one of the best paying lead posts right now. So what we want to do is give the example. And then if you guys leave us a Google review, where each person on staff will be viewing it as well as the ALC. So the leadership will too. So essentially, you're getting about 13 reviews off the bat for one review that you are.
So that's
a win-win, right?
All right. All right. You know what this means? I am going to invoice you $5 if your phone goes up from this point on. It goes to Cares for Kids, which is a great charity, right? Yes.
Yes, it's a great charity.
It's a great charity. You can just this right here. Just
donate to Cares for Kids. We actually hired an agent this week, and she's a good agent, she's got a license. And Shannon was with her, and I was at my desk working, and she walked in the office, and she had asked something. And you know the bulletin board that's kind of like beside my office right there, like the papers on it? There's a flyer there about Cares for Kids. The little boy in the wheelchair, his name is Luke. The little boy, like we got like a lot of leadership about him. He had to have a wheelchair last year. It cost about $20,000. Well, Cares for Kids bought that wheelchair because his family couldn't afford it through a grant. That agent that walked in my office was his mom.
Oh, wow.
Was his mom. I didn't know. She didn't know. And she started saying, like, what's Cares for Kids? And so we were talking about it. And then she says, the little boy looked at my son. Guys, when I tell you that, and I was just, I'm a very I was just in my mind thinking like, gosh, it's so hard to get chairs to sell because there's so many scams out there, right? There's so much. And I think it's so hard, right? To see the people how important it is to pay it forward. I mean, just like paying it forward. And then this agent comes in, stands at my door, looks at the Cares for Kids flyer, asks about the wheelchair. We explained the charity to her. And she said that the little boy in that wheelchair is my son. Thank you guys for reading the Cares for Kids so that we couldn't afford the wheelchair. And I was working $2 on the kids. And then I tell you, God will hear you, and then He'll show you that what you're doing is meaningful. That was like a slap on my face. And she was like, "Don't crash in." I was like, "No, I just want to bawl because I was being so mean about my friend." It was her son. And now it's her son's, her daughter. So she just kind of goes, so she's like, it's charities like this that makes everything open. So if you don't think you should give, you should, because that could be my child, could be your child, could be your family child. So that's what we do at Here for Kids. That was great. That is really good.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Using the power of decision gives you the capacity to get past any excuse to change any and every part of your life in the instant.
Once you made up your mind that you're going to get to the other side, you will get to the other side.
Yeah, commit. You gotta commit.
I'm up here.
Don't worry, God. Yeah, like, sphere is not fair. Like, I'm overreading a laptop.
Right. That happens the other week here. I looked once you commit to extension,
You're committed to the how. I mean, to the why. The how should not, right? So sometimes like the team will come back, they'll say, well, how are we gonna do this? Well, I don't know. You present the plan, but I know that we gotta do it. Because the why is 280% of its office and it's more important than the how, right? So once you commit to something, the decision is easier. That's a sequence. You can always break through the sequence. And if you can't break through, Francis says, throw you through, Michael. We get through.
This is a really good one. We use Tony Robbins, but
This team will be here on the 26th with us to kick off Breakthrough. So Tony Robbins is great. If you don't know who he is, please look him up. The power that looks right at his park. If you're a sponsor, DK Rentals, he is here. We're gonna go through our sponsor real quick because the next portion of this is our telephone hero, which is more of an interactive workshop. So we're gonna kind of change things up a little bit. That way he'll have time to run through the class. So welcome to sponsor for lunch because we're eating because of DK Rentals.
I didn't know they were eating.
Surprise! I was out off the fair being at the end, like, oh, what the hell? That's all right. I'm used to handling curveballs. So,
Pivoting.
and speaking of lunch, if anybody has any feedback on lunch, I would love to hear it because I never want to be known as the vendor that brings the crappy lunches.
You shouldn't say that.
I may not be the best one to think about it, so. Tim Burton, DK Rentals, full service property management company. I've worked with many of you, have passed referrals, and we really appreciate those referrals. For those of you who don't know who we are, we're based in Roswell, about 540 properties all throughout Atlanta. We're local and independent. And I always like to point that out because there are so many conglomerates, the big national companies that have come in. They try to manage properties here in town in many cases without even having, adequate personnel. So we're here. We've been here for 18 years. We know the market very well, and we have feet on the street every single day. So these are the partnerships we have. We're partners for 11 different KW offices. Love our relationship to Keller Williams. You as an agent will always get referrals to give us back. And what I mean by that is, it doesn't matter if it's 5 years down the road, when that owner is ready to sell, we check our database, we figure out which agent gave us the original referral. And then we call you and we say, hey, guess who's ready to sell their property? Go get that listing. So we're a little bit different than most management companies. We don't charge a percentage of the rent. Most of them do. It's usually 7 to 10%. We've seen them as high as 11 or 12%. We're $80 a month, regardless of the rental price. That includes everything. Tenant relations, setting up the portal so they can pay their rent. The lease is between the DK Rentals and the tenant. So the owner can be completely anonymous, and we actually prefer it that way. All the owner has to do is pay the mortgage, and we do everything else. This is our overall fee structure for the owner, just so you know. We talked about the $80, 75% procurement fee, and that's for anything that has to do with finding, screening, and placing quality tenants. 25% renewal fee every 13th month if the tenant renews an existing lease. And we do put 10% on top of our vendors' invoices for management, quality control, and administration. And comprehensively, this is the most owner-friendly competitive pricing structure in the industry in the Atlanta market. Among reputable PM companies, yes, sir.
You have like I guess a damage overhead, like $300 for incidentals or like.
Great question. The only money the owner has to put up front is a $500 reserve, which we hold in escrow, and that's just so we have funds on hand to react quickly if the tenant calls with a minor repair request. It gives us the ability to not wait on an owner to improve something, to act quickly. Anything over $500 requires the owner's approval before we proceed with the repair. When the rent comes in the next month, if we've used some of that $500, then we replenish it. Now, if the tenant calls with a frivolous call, they broke something, they caused the need for the repair, obviously they're charged for that and the owner is not charged. Make sense? Most important slide in that. This is how you get paid. Okay. This is the agent referral program that I just passed out. So if you refer as an owner, then it turns into tenant procurement plus property management. Your referral fee is 50% of the first month's rent. 95% of the referrals we get from agents, that's the category that they're going to fall in. Now, sometimes there's a tenant already in place. If that's the case, the referral fee is $240. Now, no, we used to be able to pay agents referral fees if they referred us a tenant. Because of an RDOJ settlement you're all very familiar with, a little over a year ago, we can no longer do that. Our owners can, and they do. And when we onboard owners, we encourage them to offer this co-op fee. 95% of them will do it. So I'm telling you that so you'll know that we can work with you along those lines as well. You can refer us a tenant as well as owner. Okay. Do we actually pay these out? We sure do. I think the number is about $120,000 in agent referral fees we paid out over the past 24 months. And like I said, you're going to get the listing back. We don't take those listings. Get a lot of questions about our tenant screening process. One of the most important parts of what we do in business. We know after 18 years in business, the worst thing you can do in residential real estate investing is put a crappy tenant in there that doesn't respect the property, doesn't pay the rent, or both. So that's why we have less than a 1% eviction rent. It's a very rigorous screening process, and we will not relax those standards no matter what. So, depending on what you read, who you talk to, and you guys are probably more familiar with this than I am. Somewhere between 40 and 45% of all for sale listings in the Metro Atlanta market were delisted last year. They were withdrawn or expired. So what that created is an environment where more owners than ever were coming to companies like ours looking for an alternative to do something with their house after they become disillusioned with the selling market. So what I'm telling you is, if you find yourself in that situation, you don't have to lose that client. Turn them over to me. I'll put a good tenant in there for 12 months. After 12 months, the market may have changed. They may be able to sell. You get a nice referral check up front, and you're doing a good service to your owner or your client because you have a viable alternative, and you're building your pipeline at the same time. So don't lose those clients. Send them my way. How many of you work with investors? A lot of you. So obviously, because of the business we're in, we work with a ton of investors. So use us as a resource. I have agents call me routinely all the time and say, hey, I work with an investor. Can you run these rental comps for me? Piece of cake. Not only that, we can give them market intel. We've been here for 18 years, managed over 500 properties. Chances are we know something about that extra little intel. And I have investors all the time call me and tell me, should I invest in this property? So you can give your clients that intel just by reaching out to me. So use that resource. I always like to mention that we're NARPM members. If many of you have probably heard of NARPM, it's an organization that's dedicated to the improvement of best practices in the property management industry. Our founder, owner, and broker, He is the current president of the Atlanta chapter, so he spends a good bit of his time. In many cases, our competitors have to do this correctly. So obviously we have to go. And I'll close with that. How to introduce me, that's really up to you. Send me an email intro, do a three-way call with your client, and call me, whatever works for you. The person that decides can you figure out how to get what works for you. That's all you have to do. I'll pick up the phone, I'll take care of everything else, and I'll be posted about what's going on in the process. Okay? And that's it. Yes, sir.
What you say, if you go to the on a monthly, quarterly basis, to some kind of breakdown of how the property is doing, and the money is going, like, is there a detailed report showing like how their investment is coming? Is that something that I can say that you'll give them?
Absolutely. It's okay, no problem. I'll share it with you. But we have a pretty different system set up. We call it a pod system. And anybody can take as a property manager, portfolio managers, and they're responsible for all of the houses in their portfolio. And that keeps them appraised while houses on the market. They get an email every Tuesday morning. They'll have the inquiry to how many people have applications, how many qualify, how many feedback they got from property. And then once the property on the market, they have owners order, which has statements and very detailed, very fast.
One more question.
Yes, sir.
One more question. So my understanding is that as realtors, if you get some, you should have property management that brings us in on property. Do we need a discount if we use you?
Well, the short answer is yes. The way it works, we take your report. You have that 50% of the first month's rent as a which will go to your person. You get what you get, or we can discount you the same amount on. Yeah, we did that. The other part of your question, absolutely. We recommend to anybody. It's harder than ever to self-manage, and we have a lot of real estate agents that are clients because they understand that. Many of them have managed their own properties in the past. We have tons of property managers. It's harder than ever to property manage. You know, you got fair housing laws, you got restrictions, you got what the screening process is incredible. We have a third-party AI software company that scans the applicants' documents down to the pixel level to determine if anything's been fraudulently altered. What percentage of documents that are filled out in the application process would you guess have either been fraudulently altered or changed?
60%.
No, it's actually between 15 and 20%. Is the number. So that's huge. And these are the kind of people that you very active in your house because it takes months with the court process to get them out of the house. To get out and crash the house. You're not getting the income. And you got to start all over when they get out. It costs you a fortune. So that's why I said it's the worst mistake you can make is put a crappy tenant screening is one of the most important things that we do. Right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Got some.
I don't even know how people can afford rentals right now.
Yeah, for real.
Rental.
I don't know, I would go as far as saying it's harder to buy a home.
Yeah.
If you know the right grants and down payment systems on this. 3 times the. Yeah, that's a whole class. These guys per day.
All right, guys, so real quick, we're gonna go through this.
April closing, June, Amber had a closing and productivity coaching. So let's make sure that we recognize the companies here.
Kevin Jones is here.
Good job.
There's
Something to be said about that personal. Like, it's just,
yeah,
and you know my motto, you walk by the door, don't complain about what you prayed for.
Don't complain about it because we talked about it. This is why you're in the business. What we're lacking is systems. And so when you're going through the process, you're able to see what our content and preaching is like.
Be systematic in the beginning, walk through the process, and then write down what you're doing. That's the system. Don't overcomplicate it. You can manipulate it later as you go, right? Okay, before I go here, can anybody tell me the WI4 C2Ts? Win-win.
What? No, one person. Somebody's got to say that book. So I'm gonna give you this book. Ooh.
I'll do it.
Yes. Let me do it right.
Yeah.
Can I see the letters?
No.
No, man. It's,
WI4
C2T, yes.
Win-win or no deal.
Okay.
I is integrity. WI, then there's two T's, four C's.
Yeah.
Customers, customers,
You got it. See?
customers,
We talk a lot.
conversations,
Right.
communications, it's communications. Communications, and the other C, we just did this. Just did this. Confidence? No. Care.
We're gonna see it through. We're gonna see it through. What's the word? We'll see it through.
Commitment. Commitment, customer, communication, commitment. And then you have.
One more.
Or C.
There's one more.
Bridget is she makes a lot of stuff. And she is very
Creative. Very creative. Okay, very creative. And then
I'm getting ready to do 30 minutes.
the two keys is
We are a
Not know that.
team,
and we
trust each other.
yeah.
You got to be in there. You still got to be in there.
His is abbreviated. He's got the abbreviated version.
CTE.
I am an late communicator, which is doctor.
Excellent.
Excellent.
And we strive to be
Successful. Okay. Success.
I'm not what you're
Great try, Z. Great try.
So that being said, on Friday at noon, chapters 1 through 3, we're reading them together. We'll be discussing them. Don't get on the call.
Yes, I'm not gonna call and be like, let's read the book. No, not reading the book on the call. We're discussing what we read.
So if I wasn't clear on the last, you're clear on this one. We're not reading the book together. We are discussing the material
And
and how we implement it in our business.
Okay.
That's it. That's it. Congratulations. That was really one of his best.
I bet you all time was like, you gotta give it. Lead generation every morning with Cindy Smith. I
thought, oh.
Oh, man.
Lead gen 9 to 10 every single morning. Guys, track your numbers. Because when you come to me, I want your tracker. I want to know where the comma lays in the gap. Quit sitting frame with the tracker.
I'll you gotta track it. You don't know your gaps. We can't coach to what we can't see. So you gotta be able to see what you're missing, right? So we set out leads, I should say that, Dismos, the Strongs, expires, every week for everybody that calls, take their calls. You have to have the resources and know what you're doing. If you don't have the SOP or the instructions on it, just reach out and send you a checklist of what you need to make sure that you're excelling in that. That'll be that, okay? But touch your database first.
All right.
Guess what's here?
Ready.
And I need you guys owe me. Let's see if you can. You know that. Shane doesn't, Steve doesn't.
But everybody
else is working. It's still be an hour of paying it forward on red day. So if you can show up, please show up. We're gonna go clean up the park that Inward is really kind of involved with. From my understanding from Covington, there's a lot of homeless. I don't think they'll be there by the time that we get there. So we're gonna clean, we're all gonna clean, we're gonna feed the homeless, we're gonna have food, we're gonna eat together. So we're gonna grill. I haven't reached out to me about. Yes. Okay. You can, talk to Ramona after or Natalie. And they'll give you the instructions for that. And if you scan that, if there's a link tree, sure, like leads to that too.
Okay.
So register. Okay, just reach out to Natalie or Ramona and they'll give you that picture. Yeah. So May 14th, I'm saying 8:30 because if I say 9, y'all are 10. So 8:30. Okay. At the park. At the park.
Is that the park?
Hmm?
Is that at the park?
There is. I'm going over there tomorrow too. I'm just.
Should be ample parking.
Working with investors, the class is May 18th, 11 to 1. Quentin Smith is teaching it. Thank you, Quentin, for teaching that class. So if you want to know more and get everything in between with what it takes to work with an investor, show up to the class. This is a good class. We work with a lot of investors. You need to know what wholesaling is, assignments, double closing, subjects. Those words are important in this market because there's so many of them. We all get a million texts every day. We have our market. So, and they lead you. I always tell everybody a wholesaler will outlead you an agent 4 to 1. They make their calls or text. They find their list, they put it together, they do the work. All right, and again, May 26th, we're taking off Breakthrough with Tony Robbins. Starts at 11. So please be there. Breakthrough is a big deal. You're gonna get a ton of systems. The model says we'll sign 9 agreements per agent during that week with a follow-up that continues in 2 months. That's a lot to change your business. Oh, there it is actually. Want to take a picture? I want to take a picture. Sign for it. It is every day. It is in person. I'm not doing the hybrid, so online. We're gonna record it for the dual for yours, so we'll post it. But it's so interactive that's gonna be very hard for us to make sure that you're online, that we can touch you the right way, if that makes sense. Because you're gonna walk out of here with systems. Okay.
What's up? So it will be here every day, consecutively? Okay.
Every day. This is the book. If you don't have it, it's on Audible, Kindle. I looked it up, it's everywhere. So it's not reading the book. It's reviewing 12 to 1 pounds. All right. Now Tim Dabney's up. Am I ready? No, ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Tim Dabney's gonna go over Telecom Heroes, a great class that's been taught. It is an interactive course, so feel free to make sure you're asking the questions. It is very similar to Legion Bootcamp, but more instructional.
So we've got 30 minutes left, basically?
Yeah,
All
so
right.
you have until 1.
Oh, fantastic. Okay.
Here's the question for you guys. Do you guys, before he starts, want to grab lunch and bring it in? All right, listen. 1 table at a time, and then you got 10 minutes to get the study back. So back table first, and then lead up.
Perfect.
Back to you guys.
Look at
He's got some test socks on sorry.
I didn't make that one. That was good though. You did that, right? Preston. I gotta take Preston, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Let me ask you about this. This is only 3 cents. Only 3 cents.
That's only the 26. Yes.
That really is good. I gotta get that
The whole
one.
meeting's gonna be a class. They're doing a workshop for us. They're gonna kick it off with a workshop.
Cute.
It's on the 26th, though. They're gonna do a workshop. Then we're gonna lead into Breakthrough, which will go to open houses, listing fires, social media, brain development, every day. That's a workshop. It's free. Every day. It's on the calendar. It's in your inboxes. Breakthrough.
They look and keep it. Make an appointment.
I do want to say, David told me that he made, how many calls? 50?
54.
54 calls.
Awesome.
And he had, so we monitor your calls. So if I ask if you had a conversation, I always ask how long was the conversation, right? By 2-minute conversations. It used to be less, and now the model is 2 minutes, right? Because it's hard to kind of convey what you convey within a minute now. So 2 minutes. So he made 54 calls, he had 2-minute conversations. So right now, if he's tracking, he made it take 54 dials for him to have 2-minute conversations about real estate. So if he wants to up his conversations, he's going to have to increase his dials, right? For a better conversion at that point.
So question, conversion, how do you define conversion?
So I assume at some point Tim is gonna.
Yeah, so, well, we're just gonna talk about two things today, but conversion happens at different stages. So obviously the best conversion is when you close a deal, right? Right, so that makes sense. But for what we're talking about, what the first metric is make the dials. So he needs to make 50 to 75 dials a day starting out because he has no pipeline. He's brand spanking new, right? And so he's gonna make 50 to 75 dials. Right now, he's averaging about 2-minute conversations about real estate per 50 to 60 dials, right? So now he could go $100 a day if he wanted to. That's up to him. So how hard he wants to work is how much he's going to do. So if he can get 2-minute conversations a day, it's 10 a week, and then we're going to see how many of those turn in.
So does that conversation count as a conversion?
Well, he has converted a hello to a 2-minute conversation about real estate. So that is a kind of conversion. It's not the ultimate conversion, but we measure that. Now he's gonna from those 10 conversations, how many of those 10 conversations can he get belly to belly with, face to face to? So now we're gonna start tracking. If he gets, let's say he works for the whole month and he gets 40 2-minute conversations. And he shows up and he's able to go to 4 buyer presentations or seller presentations. Okay, well, he's converted a phone call to an appointment. We're going to talk about the appointments, what we're talking about today, and we're going to kind of help you with that. And then from the appointment, how many of them are going to sign a BBA? Well, let's say he goes to 4 appointments and 2 of them sign a BBA. That's a pretty good turnaround. That's 50%. That's a conversion. So you're converting all the way until the day you get paid, right? Now, when you get paid, there's another conversion there. You're going to convert a one-time buyer to a lifetime buyer, but that's a whole nother class. We're not doing that today. So today we're going to focus on making the appointment, and you'll see how this goes real quick.
So converting is it evolves.
It does. So normally, if you talk to the average real estate, if you just walk into a real estate brokerage and you say, I'm a high converter, they're going to assume you mean you're closing deals, right? But and that would be accurate. That is a conversion. But when we talk about, like when we're talking about your pipeline, there are stages to it. So you're not going to close anything if you don't sign a BBA, right? You're not going to sign a BBA unless you get in front of people. You're not going to get in front of people unless you talk to them on the phone. You're not going to talk to them on the phone unless you make the phone call. So you can pretend like you just get lucky and close at the end, but that's like playing the lottery without buying a ticket, which is what I do. So that's not gonna work for you. So conversion, it just depends on what you're talking about. I think that answers the question. Yeah.
And you're gonna hear a lot of times that we say KPIs or key point indicators.
Key performance indicators, yeah.
Performance. And I couldn't even remember what that meant earlier.
Sorry, you got the K2 ABCDEFG one, yeah.
So we actually, Ken Parker will be teaching about the entire stats class for the market. So probably in a couple of weeks, we have that class coming up. So we do that once a month. You guys have to know what the market is to be able to have those conversations to lead into those phone calls, right? Because you're going to get those conversations.
And the good thing is that we have like the cold calling class that, what's her name?
Cindy.
Thank you. Cindy does. So she's setting you up to succeed. If you can talk to somebody who doesn't want to talk to you, who doesn't know you're calling them, then you can talk to anybody. And Cindy does a good job of preparing you for that. So if you can nurture that skill, that's going to give you a lot of confidence and a lot of opportunity, because those are hard. They already are pissed off because they haven't sold their house, right? And 37 agents called before you got there. So which is a shame, because there are about 60,000 agents in Georgia and only 37 of them called. So that's a whole bunch of people not working hard. So
And in the conversation, when you get someone that says, I'm no longer gonna sell my house, it's always, well, why, and what are you gonna do?
Mhm.
And what we are seeing, the stats have risen on rentals. A lot of people are listing homes are coming off the market because of rentals, which is why DK rentals is so important in my life, right? So many people are holding out of state, like sellers, they're just not selling, they're gonna hold their grant, right? Because their whole thing, their mindset is you're no buyers. Well, we'll show you the stats, the market stats. Again, there are people buyers. There are people buyers. You just have to find them through these resources. So they're working together, but the more conversions that you're gonna have. But you don't get from anybody, just go, it's gonna be tough.
And there's only so many ways to get a lead. You can buy a lead. You can do that. Well, but you can, and lots of people do. And there's nothing wrong with that. Especially good if you're just starting out. You can call a lead. You can just get your yellow pages out and go for it, right? Or you can wait for a lead, and you'll be very, very hungry waiting for a lead. It's not going to happen. So you want to do it. Hey, I don't know your name, but you got a name tag on somebody. Girl, that was a few weeks ago. You didn't pay me and you didn't give me any food. I don't remember your name, okay? Golly.
So that modern, that's actually Michelle Carter.
Michelle, are you the $1 million agent? Oh, that's good. I saw your car out there. I was like, I got to get me one of those. I'm putting this on it. That's what I'm putting on it.
Yeah. I saw that she was wow.
Yeah, that one looks better than the one I did. So.
You should have seen Cindy's last week to Andy's. They're great. Cindy's Spencer's like, still up there. I love it. She's great. I love it. She texted a link. How old is she? Yeah.
Before this starts, I'm going to visit the boys' room one more time.
What is that?
Write me a check.
That is so funny. Are you not? Yes, we did. Sometimes. You remember the whole night.
There's a whole.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me. Ramona, how many we have online? How many are online? You don't know? Okay, I was just wondering. Oh, it'll be here after I look. Yeah, not a lot. A few. We're good.
Come on, Jackie. A little quick on the code.
I got a shirt.
Oh, I got a picture too. I'm telling you, man. Oops, I just broke everything. It's going to get a lot of traction. A lot of play. For sure. I tell you what I really like. I like that big clock in the back. That's awesome.
Do you like it?
I love it. That's fantastic.
Yeah, just for you.
It's for me. I live and die on that stuff. Love it. I'm going to turn it so I can see it better.
You know what? I'm gonna tell Shannon that was confirmation because sometimes as guest speakers they act like they can't see it.
Dude.
He doesn't see a big clock in the back.
I see it. I like it. Like, I like it a lot. I don't like going over. It's not my favorite thing. I guess Mexican's out, huh? I watched your listing presentation when or how to get the right price for the home. I can't remember what you called it, but it was good. It was good. I learned a thing or two. I just watched the recording. I wasn't able to be on. Yeah, but it was good. And those are going to be on the YouTube. Yeah, that's really good. So I wonder if we can, like, can I put what we do today, can I put it on my YouTube page? Oh, fantastic. It will be great. I might or might not like that. You know what I'm talking about? Look, I got Danny doing all my editing because I can't stand to look and hear me. Yeah, I don't want to see me or hear me anymore. I'm like, oh my. And I don't even know why people stay in the room. Like, but they do. Because they have to. What time did she say? 10 till?
What, to start?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear.
I didn't either. I wouldn't listen.
I honestly said 10 minutes, but.
That's what I thought she said, but I don't know when that started.
About already.
All right, I think almost everybody's back in now, so we'll go ahead and get this show on the road. So my name is Tim Dabney, and good, we're good. Yeah, my name is Tim Dabney, and I've been with Keller Williams just since the beginning of the year, but I've been an agent for almost 10 years, not quite, I think 9 years. And I've managed brokerages and teams and coached and all that stuff. So we're gonna have a good time today. So there's a couple of things you need to know. First of all, number one, I'm doing this without notes. Just a alert, but I'll stay on time. We'll be fine. Number two, I don't know your name. Even if I know your name, I don't know your name. So there will come a point where I will ask you to participate, and I'm gonna do a very rude thing that my mom taught me not to do. I'm gonna point at you and go, "What's your name?" Because now I know David, but I'll forget his name about halfway through because I got other things. I only have so much room in my tiny little brain. So please don't be offended. It's even if I know you, like I know Claudine, but I'll forget her name too in just a minute. It'll happen. So it's gonna work. So today what we're going to do is we are going to talk about making appointments. So there's a whole bunch of things that go into a phone call and into working your pipeline. Today, I want to talk about making an appointment and doing that on the phone. So an appointment for our conversation today is anything that means we communicate again. So I can make an appointment for a buyer's presentation. I can make an appointment for a listing presentation. I could make an appointment to call you back in a week and let's talk about when's a good time after you're back from your vacation for us to meet, right? That's an appointment. If I tell Tina I'm going to call you back at 5 o'clock next Monday, we've made an appointment. She's expecting my call. That's what we're doing. So when we talk about an appointment, we're talking about any kind of future interaction. Now, ideally, what do we want? I want to be in their house, right? Sitting on their couch, talking about how we're going to sell it, right? Or how we're going to buy something different than the one you're in. So that's what we want to be. So does that make sense? Everybody follow along? Okay, good. All right. So I'm a Superman nerd. You probably already figured that out by now. Okay, so I don't care what you know about Superman. Here's what you do know. You know that Clark Kent, the mild mannered reporter, goes into a phone booth. So put in a phone booth is okay. Yeah. Sometimes. So, but he goes into the phone booth. But everybody knows he ain't coming out Clark Kent, is he? He's coming out in spandex and a cape. Now, I got good news for you. I brought no spandex. I'm not wearing that in front of you today. My daughter has forbidden me to do that in public. So now the artwork, no, there's no darn in it. The artwork got better. And the superheroes got more, and the fun began with Clark Kent, but didn't stop there. And now they made 12.5 movies, and I love every one of them, just in case you want to know. So I'm a Superman nerd, right? So today our goal is really simple. We want you to walk in to this class, a mild mannered appointment maker. We want you to fly out telephone heroes. Does that make sense? And so what that's going to mean is that you got to participate. So I will make you a little uncomfortable as we go through. The people online, I got good news for you. You just get to watch. Everybody else squirm. It's going to be okay. But it'll be a little uncomfortable, maybe. Maybe you'll love it. I don't know. But we'll have a good time. So you'll overlook me not knowing your name, even if I call on you and you tell me your name. I may forget it again. And when I call on you, I'll say, what was your name again? And it's not again. I already know that. But you're going to tell me anyway. It'll be fine. All right. So let's talk a little bit about, just have a baseline for the process. The process is easy. There are 7 basic steps from the time that you make or get a call until the time that you get a paycheck, okay? So it's basically this. So 1, you're going to answer the phone call, accept the tour, or you're going to make a phone call. So anybody ever do Zillow here? I know Claudine has. Anybody else ever done Zillow? So you know that you get those Zillow calls. Hi, this is Alex. I'm connecting you to a local agent, that sort of thing. Sometimes it's Op City does that, I think, or it used to. I don't think it's called Op City anymore. They sold it to Redfin or somebody, right? But whoever it is. But you know these are live transfers. We all like those live transfers because that means I don't have to make a dial, right? But so. And this will apply to that, although we're not talking about that specifically today, but you can still apply it to it. It'll be fine. We'll talk about that a little bit. So start with answering a phone call or making a call. Then you're going to set and confirm the appointment. Then you're going to meet the appointment. Then you're going to show them the home, or at least one, right? That's what we hope, right? So you show them a home or 2 or 3. And then eventually we're going to make an offer or 2. And then eventually one of those offers will go under contract. Yay! And then eventually you'll close that deal, right? Does that make sense? We all agree on this, right? This is not news. I haven't taught you anything yet. You're like, why are we here? Right? I got it. Okay. So what we're looking for is a customer who's ready, willing, and able. You remember that from your classes? If they're ready, that means that when you find a house, they will buy it. That they will make an offer on it. Willing, that means if you find a house, they are willing to proceed, right? So you'll know they're not willing when you find them 4 houses that check off all the boxes and they refuse to make an offer on anyone's, right? So that's not a willing customer. Able means they got the money. I don't care if it's theirs or not, right? As long as they got some. So what we're looking for is activity that leads to a sale. Everybody agrees with that, right? So, and a lead, we all can agree, is going somewhere. It's like a relationship. You don't judge a relationship by where it's at. You judge a relationship by where it's going. Yeah, and that's why some of you broke up with your last boyfriend or girlfriend, right? So if there's no destination, just understand this, there's no destination, there's 0 value. If you don't know where you're not going anywhere. And you're getting there alone, okay? That's the problem, all right? So a long lead is a good lead. If you want to sell a house right now, I understand that. If you got to pay your mortgage right now, I understand that. I got to do mine too. But guess what? In January, you'll still have a mortgage. And you'll still be hungry, even after this really good lunch. Good job, Tim. All right? And then we talked about this already. You must track your activity. So if you're not using a CRM, or if you're not being consistent with your CRM, I don't care if it's KW Command or Follow-Up Boss, or you just bought one off the internet, which is kind of silly when you got these good tools right here. But if you're not using a CRM or a tool like that to track your progress, then you will not be successful. I don't know how to say that any clearer. You won't know what you did right, and you won't know what you're doing wrong, and you'll keep doing the wrong things wrong. You'll hit the right things by accident, and then you'll be like, why didn't I make any money this year? I already tell you why. You didn't keep track of it. Okay? So imagine if you went to work for somebody and it came time for them to pay you and they go, oh, I can't pay you this week. And you're like, what? And you're like, well, I didn't count my money up right last month, and I just don't have any. You would not work for that person for very long because you can't count on them. So why would you work for yourself who you can't count on? That doesn't make any sense, right? So we got to track things. So all of what we're going to do today, you should be able to track this in whatever CRM that you're using. And if you can't, talk to Shannon. She can help you figure it out and probably give you a beating over it as well. I don't know, whatever she does. All right, so let's start with introductions. So again, you're going to hear this over and over again. One of the things we'll do is a lot of repetition. You're about to be repeated right out of the room. But when you leave, you'll be able to do some really cool things. Okay, that's the goal. So our goal is for you to walk in, fly out a telephone hero. The next time I ask you that, I'm going to say, what's our goal? It's to walk in and fly out as, and you say, a telephone hero. Very good. We'll get there. All right, so let's talk about some criminal behavior. Do you know who that is? Okay, just making sure. So First thing we don't want to do is we don't want to waste time on activities that don't lead to sales. That's ridiculous. So you can talk about your exes and your dogs and where you used to live in Connecticut, but that doesn't get you anywhere, okay? You go, well, Tim, we got to have good rapport. Good rapport means nothing if you have no appointment, okay? So don't skip the appointment to get some good rapport. Get the appointment, we'll talk about rapport later. All right, wasting time on calls that don't lead to appointments, okay? Again, you can have a great conversation, and when you hang up the phone, you go, well, there's a really nice person. Did anything happen? Like, what are you doing next? I don't know. It's not a good phone call. I don't care how much. You just made a friend, but you didn't make a sale, right? So that we got to keep moving. Appointment rates of less than 80%. Okay, so I need to stop on this one just for a second. With a Zillow or OpCity or Redfin, something like that, where they're shoving leads into your phone, the appointment rate should be 80%. Most of the agents that I train are well above that, 90%. Some are at 100% for months on end. Claudine teaches another brokerage. You got 80, 90% appointment rates, right, with your Zillow leads, right? So that's really normal. Now, when you're cold calling, when you're just calling a list of people that somebody sent you that raised their hand, 2 years ago, you're probably not going to have an 80% appointment rate. But here's my philosophy: if you aim at nothing, you hit it every time. So set your goal, and then track your numbers. So let's set your goal at 80%. Say, if I talk to 10 people, I'm going to make appointments with 8 of them. You'll actually be surprised how easy that is. Okay, it's not as hard as you think it is, but we'll see that in a second. But you may say, look, Tim, I made 100 phone calls. I talked to 50 people, which would be really good, by the way. I talked to 50 people, and out of those 50 people, I made 40 appointments. I'm going to high five you. I don't care what I don't care what the percentage is. I'm going to high five you. Great job. But you had something to aim for. You aimed for it. You missed it maybe by a little bit, but you still made a whole bunch of appointments despite missing. So you didn't lose, right? You follow me? You didn't lose. All right. Okay. Wow. I don't know where that came from. Okay. I don't know what that is. All right. Here we go. Finally, it's you don't want to get criminal behavior is not getting in front of enough people to build relationships. You don't build relationships on the phone. You build relationships face to face, belly to belly, over lunch, over coffee, in a house, talking about how awful this brown refrigerator is in this kitchen, whatever it is, right? That's where you're doing it. That's a great place to talk about your dogs, okay? But over the phone, that's not going to do it for you. And finally, living in your parents' basement with your spouse, 3 kids, 2 Dobermans, 6 cats, a hamster, and a goldfish, and your mother-in-law, that is bad. So we want to get you out of the basement, and we're going to do some heroic behavior. So here we go. First of all, I'm going to teach you how to take the lead on a phone call. And it's easy, and you won't have to memorize jack, okay? So we're going to make this super easy. You're going to love it. When I tell you, you're going to be like, that makes really good sense. I'm surprised I didn't think of that. Some of you may have already thought of it. 89% appointment rates. Again, it's not that hard. You'll be fine. Shorter phone calls with better results. You've had them, right? The phone call that you get off the phone, you got pressing things, and 45 minutes later, you don't have an appointment, and you don't know exactly what you talked about. But they were really nice, right? That is not useful, especially when you're from 9 to noon or whatever your time is to make phone calls. You're trying to make 100 phone calls or 50 phone calls, and you just had a 45-minute one. That's not the way to get finished with your day. So we want shorter phone calls, better results. More money, doing less work. Anybody on an amen on that one? All right. Okay. And then visiting your parents and in-laws every once in a while, that's a win. Okay, so we get you out of the basement in your own house, hopefully. All right. So we'll do 4 quizzes through this whole thing. And so the quizzes are really simple. I'll pick somebody out to answer a question. And if you answer the question wrong, then we start back at the beginning. It's really simple. We're not calling on you. I already saw how you did. I'm just messing with you, man. You're good. I want to take a look at your book before you leave. All right. So Dave, I'm going to pick on you because I know your name. Then that's the last person who gets that privilege, right? So David, you're the first, okay? No pressure here, right? Okay. So what's the goal of every phone call? Is it A, to make an appointment, B, to introduce yourself to the customer, C, to find out if the customer has an agent, or D, I still don't know what the goal is? Very good. Is he right? Yeah. Okay, good job. So we do not have to start all over again. All right, good job. I like that. That's good. We'll do that. All right. Let's talk about asking for the appointment. Okay, so this is going to be fun. What's our goal? Is to walk in and fly out. All right, we're doing good so far. This is great. All right, so here's what I'm going to teach you this. Whoever asks the first question and the last question is the person leading. Okay, so, and this gets complicated with some customers because they have their own agenda and they don't know our script. But just hang in there. You'll see how this works, and I think you'll be happily satisfied. Please, something or something, whatever. Okay. Oops. There we go. So let's talk about some criminal activity. There's only 3. 1, if you start a phone call with, how can I help you? Hang up. This is the wrong business for you. Okay? Go get a job at Burger King. Okay? This is not the right job for you. You are a real estate professional. If you don't know how you can help the guy on the other end of the phone, hang up and go get a different job. Okay? Do your job. Be the professional. They're expecting you to know what you need to do and how you're going to help them. So don't ask that question. It's a terrible question. The other thing is, don't get into a conversation about how difficult the market is. Is the market difficult? Thank you. It is not difficult. The market is what the market is. It's like water. Okay? You can swim or you can't swim, but the water doesn't change much. Okay? If you get in a freshwater lake, you can swim. If you get in a saltwater lake, you can swim. Lake, ocean, whatever. You can swim. It feels a little different. One's a little bit more buoyant, but if you drown in a freshwater pool, you're going to drown in the ocean. Okay? It's just the way it's going to go. So the market is what the market is. Don't get wrapped up in that. Can you help them no matter what the market is? Yes, you can, okay? And finally, we don't want to be reactive. And we're going to talk about this toward the end. You'll see how this works. We don't want to be reactive. We definitely want to be proactive, which is why we're going to take control of this phone call. All right, introductions and interruptions. Let me just give you a brief history of this. If your mom was a very good mom, she taught you not to interrupt another person while they were talking. I disagree with that when it comes to sales, completely. So sometimes you get on a phone call, you've had this before, you get on a phone call, right? And the other person, you're on a phone call, you can't see each other. And so sometimes it's hard to know whose turn it is to talk, okay? You're the boss. You are the professional. Lead the conversation, even if it means you have to interrupt the person initially. Now, you don't want to make a habit of that, but if on the initial call, so with Zillow, it sounds like this. How does Alex, I'm connecting you to a local agent. And everybody's waiting on the other, they're being polite because we all live in the South, right? Nobody's talking. So you can't do that. If you get on the call, do your thing. I'm going to show you what to do in a second, but do your thing. Don't hesitate. Don't be scared. Don't apologize for interrupting. Just get to it because there's a good thing that's going to happen out of the interruption. So we're going to do a 10-second introduction. This is really simple. We're going to keep it short. We're going to keep it repeatable. And we're going to, if there's an interruption, we're going to accept that and embrace it and leverage that for our benefit to take control of the phone call. So this is what it sounds like. First of all, it's good morning, John. This is Tim at Keller Williams. Now, there's a whole bunch of things missing out of here. First of all, there are no questions. I didn't ask if it was John. I assume it's John. Okay? So it's your home court. Assume the person is who you're talking to. Good morning. So we want to greet them with a pleasantry, right? Don't get crazy. Just keep it simple. Good morning, John. I'm assuming. This is Tim with Keller Williams. You know what's missing there? My last name. He's not going to hear my last. He doesn't know who this is. He's not listening. He's trying to establish what the heck am I selling, right? That's what all he wants to know is what's the gimmick here. Also, I didn't say Keller Williams Premier or Keller Williams Buford or Keller Williams Brazelton or Keller Williams whatever, Atlanta. I just kept it simple because he doesn't hear me. Oops, I just spit. It's a good thing you're not too close. That's why nobody's sitting here that heard the story. Yeah, we need some plastic up here. All right, so we're keeping it short. Dude, we're keeping it short because I will definitely have to repeat myself. There is no, look, sometimes you call your mom and she doesn't know who you are, right? So this is not, it's just life on a telephone, okay? It's not a problem. Don't panic about it. Don't sweat it. Don't lose any sleep over it. It's just what it is. So good morning, John. This is Tim with Keller Williams. I need to tell you one more thing. You want to avoid Yeah, you got to be careful in your voice. So most of us want to answer the phone like this. Good morning, John. This is Tim with Keller Williams. He will hang up on you. Okay. I would hang up on you. Okay. You don't want to. Oh, I just hit my microphone again. This is going to be a long day. So this is not. You want to keep it right here. Okay. We're not bringing the roller coaster with us. The worst thing and you guys know this, if you've ever closed any deal at all, good job, by the way. If you've ever closed any deal at all, you know that there are emotional highs and lows during the course of the transaction. It's normal. Okay. So what we don't want to do is we don't want to start a roller coaster and not be able to get off of it. Okay. That's not a good thing. So whatever the customer is doing, they're going to do this the whole time, and you've got to be right here the whole time. So now you may get off the phone. They may call you and go, "Oh my gosh, we're not going to be able to buy this house. We're going to be living on the street." And you may be thinking, "I'm not going to get paid. I'm going to be living on the street," right? But you don't communicate that to them on the phone. You go, "Let me make a couple of phone calls and I'll call you back." And you hang up and go, you know, do your thing, right? That's okay, but not to them. You keep it right here for them, okay? So we're avoiding and you're going to see this down at the bottom of all these slides. And when I call on you, if you go up at the end of your sentence, I will make you do it again, and I'll make you do it now. So here's what it's going to sound like, just in case you're now wondering, what the heck is he talking about? So I can say, "Good morning, David. This is Tim. You see how I went up? I'm raising the temperature. I do not want to do that. So I want to say, "Morning, David. This is Tim. See the difference? Can you hear it? It's subtle. You will be surprised how that changes your conversations. When you say, 'This is Tim,' they think it's a sales call." That's what they heard that. They heard it loud and clear. If you hear, "This is Tim," it might be your doctor saying something bad has happened, right? I mean, like, you don't know why they're calling. That's why we want to keep them on. All right, so now, yep, go ahead.
So that response you gave in regards to tone, is that to everybody? Or is that to people you don't know?
I would say it's people you don't know. So like if you've got a customer that you've built a relationship with and you're under contract with, you can call them, "Guys, great news, we're under contract." That's an up, right? "I got great news, we got it clear to close." That's definitely an up, right? That's fine. But when we're talking to somebody we don't know, what they hear when I say, "This is Tim," they hear sales call, and they're trying to get off. All the fences go up at that point in time. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. We're going to talk about this more, but now that you have the baseline, let's keep going. So sometimes, and you'll know this, we're going to get somebody whose name is weird. My name is Tim. In my history, I worked at a car dealership for a while, and I would answer the phone, "This is Tim," and they would say, "Tim," and I don't like, "Sweetheart, I got 3 letters in my name. You missed all 3 of them." Like, if I don't know. One day I was talking to this lady on the phone, and she called me Ken. I just didn't even bother with it anymore because it doesn't matter. And as long as I get paid. So she was wanting something. I said, "Look, if you'll email me, I'll give you a written quote." She goes, "For real?" I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "What's your email address?" So I told her, "It's tim@getgan.com. 10 minutes later, I get an email. Tim@getgan.com. "Dear Ken." I have no idea. So occasionally you're going to find somebody with a name that is challenging to pronounce. Now, we're not going to go in. I'm not giving you any examples because that would make me, some kind of evil person. But we all know that Atlanta is a multicultural area, right? And some people come from all over the world, and sometimes you look at their name and all it has is consonants, right? And I don't know what to do with that. There's no vowels. Can I buy a vowel? That's all I need, right? So sometimes it's good to say, "Good afternoon, this is Tim with Keller Williams. Can you pronounce your name for me so I don't get it wrong?" That's polite, okay? If you feel comfortable with that. Another way to do it would be say, "Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever. This is Tim with Keller Williams. Who am I speaking with?" It's bad English, but it works, right? "With whom am I speaking?" That's also good. All right, but say, "Who am I speaking with?" Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't like these last 2.
Yeah.
That's right. I don't like these last 2, but if it's a name that's difficult. So if I'm calling somebody, I look at their name, I'm like, I got no clue. I mean, I'm going to get it wrong no matter what, right? So I can say one of these 2, but I prefer "Hey John, this is Tim." Okay. Now, here's what's going to happen. No matter how you start the phone call, this is what happens. The customer's going to go, "Huh? What? Who is this? What are you selling? Right? They're gonna, and you'll hear it in their voice. They're driving that roller coaster up the line because if they get, and they don't know this, but this is how it works. If they get you on the emotional roller coaster, they get to be in control of this phone call. They are not in control of this phone call, and that's where we're going next. So sometimes while I'm talking, they'll interrupt me. Okay, and I just finish my sentence. Just the same way I would have if they wouldn't have interrupted me. Okay? And so now they're going to do this. They're going to say this. They're going to say, who is this? What'd you say? Huh? What are you selling? But you know what they're doing now that they weren't doing before? Right. Okay? So after the interruption, whatever that looks like, after the initial whatever that looks like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to say, now we're going to shorten up the greeting hi. I don't need to say good morning again. It was already a good morning. It's better now. This is Tim Dabney, because now they're listening, so I can tell them my last name with Keller Williams Premier. I can add the Premier or the Atlanta or whatever it is that you got on there on the end, because they're listening. They probably will know what Keller Williams is, but they may not. That's fine. Keller Williams Premier, you can say Keller Williams Premier Realty if you want to, whatever you want to do with that. But you got a little more space because they have ears on now, okay? And now I'm going to end it with the question. I'm not assuming anymore because he didn't hear me the first time. Is this John? There's actually a reason for this. That red letters down there is a closed-ended question. It's either John or it ain't, right? That's the only two choices we got. So I say, is this John? He says, yes. Great. I'm still in, he's not volunteering anything else. Is this John? No. Then who is this, right? I'm sorry. I was calling John. Is he here? Is he in? And then we can move on from there. Does that make sense so far? So this closed-ended question is going to be the key to keeping control of the phone call. Now, there are lots of reasons to have open-ended questions in a conversation. Lots of good reasons. We'll get to that in a minute. But for now, we're going to keep it closed. Yes, ma'am.
So I'm one of those type of people that does not say yes if you ask.
Yeah, what would you say?
I'm like, how can I help you? They say,
Okay. So I'm sorry. I was calling for John. Is he in?
This is she.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, John, it's good to talk to you. I'm Tim with Keller Williams Realty, and then I can go on with what we're going to talk about the rest of it. Does that make sense? That's a good question. What's your name? It's not John. Valencia? That's a pretty name. I will not remember in a minute, but it is a pretty name. Okay, so this is good. Everybody following so far? Okay, it'll get more clear in just a second, so just hang in there. All right, so good morning, John. This is Tim with Keller Williams. He says, what? Huh? Who is this? Like you did, right? Who am I speaking? Who are you calling for? Right? Whatever they say. I say, oh, hi, this is Tim Dabney with Keller Williams, and I'm slowing my speech down. This is Tim Dabney. I don't say great. I don't say awesome. I say, hi, this is Tim Dabney with Keller Williams Premier. Is this John? Down, not up. Is this John? Keep it down. We're excited people. We're excited to do our job. We want to go make some money. We want to help. We want to help people. That's what we do. I mean, we're just talking about, helping people with wheelchairs and stuff. We're excited to do that, and you should be. But you've got to manage your resources, and one of the resources is the one in your throat. Okay, the one in your head, how you're thinking. If you can't control how you're thinking, somebody else will do it for you, and that's what we don't want. All right. So now I'm slowing down. And it's time for a quiz. So David got the last one. Let's see. I'm going to pick on you because you did not bring me food. Okay. And I got to remember your name. Hang on a second. It is D'Amica? Okay. Did I pronounce it right? Okay. Fantastic. Okay, great. All right, D'Amica, there's no pressure here, but you know how this works, right? Okay. So the best initial introduction is A, hi, how can I help you? And if you answer A, I'm putting you out of the class, and you're never coming back at all, okay? B, this is Tim with Keller Williams. C, good afternoon, John. This is Tim with Keller Williams. Or D, say nothing and wait on the customer to speak. What do you think? You can ask a friend if you need to. Wait. C, very good. Okay, this is right because it's good afternoon. We assume the name, right? This is the initial introduction, right? No, we just got him on the phone. This is Tim, not my last name, with Keller Williams, not Premier, Atlanta, all that other stuff. Everybody following so far? Good job, D'Amica. I will not remember your name in a minute. Just understand, but I do love you, okay? You're awesome. All right, let's go. And what's your name, young lady? Clarissa? All right, Clarissa, you're next. Byron says, so we've introduced ourselves the way D'Amica said. Byron says, who is this? And now he's listening. So is it A, how can I help you? And you leave the class. B, this is Tim with Keller Williams. C, hi, this is Tim Dabney with Keller Williams Premier. Is this John? Or D, say nothing and wait on the customer to speak. What'd you say? Oh, I thought you said D for a second. I was like, oh my gosh, I need to sit down. All right, so C is correct. So now they're listening. I slow my speech down a little bit. I give them my last name. I give them more about who I work for. And then I confirm that it is who I'm talking to. Everybody following along? It's very good. Very good. Clarissa, right? Okay. It will not be correct in a minute, but I appreciate it. All right, we're going to go to Michelle because I remember your name because you're $1 million agent. If you put a sign on your car, I might remember your name. All right. So, Michelle, how long should the introduction take? 10 seconds, less than a minute, 10 seconds under normal circumstances, and less than a minute if the name is difficult to pronounce, or D, as long as it takes to get right. I'll give you a hint. This is a trick question. Just answer the way you feel. Just tell me what you feel. Do it. Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
C.
Okay, C is correct. You know what else is correct? All of them. Okay, so I don't know how long an introduction is going to take, but typically it's about 10 seconds or less, right? I mean, hi, John. We're done if it's John, right? If it's not John, it might take another second. Or if it's a difficult name for me to pronounce, D'Amica's not a difficult name for me to pronounce, but if I want to make sure I was pronouncing it right, which I did, I would say, D'Amica, did I pronounce your name right? And she's going to say no, or yes, or you did a good job, or close enough. I don't like close enough, by the way. I try to get it right. But hooked on phonics worked for me, but not everybody's name works on phonics, right? This is the way.
For me, I assume I know the question. See, you say how long should the introduction take? So in my head, I'm like, I was thinking conversation. I don't know why.
Just introduction. You got it right anyway, so it doesn't matter. All right, we got one more. What's your name again? Zeke. Okay, that's what I thought, but I didn't say it. All right, so what's the purpose of the introduction? Is it A, to introduce yourself, B, to find out who you're talking to, both A and B, or D, to get control of the conversation? What's the best answer?
The best answer, I would say ultimately you want to do D.
D? Everybody agree with that?
Yeah.
That's the correct answer. We do want to introduce ourselves. I do want to find out who I'm talking to. But ultimately, I want this conversation to go the way I want this conversation to go. And the way I'm going to do that is by grabbing a hold of it and not letting it go until it goes where I want it to go. Okay? Good job. All right. Let's go to control of the call. So we're going to walk in and we're going to fly out A. Okay, you're starting to, the cards are starting to kick in, I can already tell. So it's all right. All right, so we talked about the 10-second introduction, or as long as it takes to get it right, but it's not going to take long. It sounds like this. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to play a little game. So, what's your name? I'm so sorry to point at you, boy. Stephanie. All right, Stephanie, will you play the agent and let me play the customer? No. I like her. Where's she going? Look, I need to talk to you about being on my team, okay? All right. All right, Stephanie. So you just read. Now you can substitute your name if you'd like that, because you don't look like a Tim. I mean, you could be much better looking Tim than I am, but I just. So you start.
Okay. And I'm the agent, right?
You're the agent. So this is you.
Good morning, John. This is Stephanie with Keller.
Huh? Who is this? What would you say?
Hi, this is Stephanie with Keller Williams Premier.
Okay, good. All right, so far, how's she doing? Good. So you notice that she's kept it down. She's not made me excited yet, right? She's kept it very professional. She knows what she's doing. I don't know what she's doing, right? Because I'm the customer. That's normal. Okay, it's very good. The only thing that I would say is you could have included your last name on this one if you wanted to. Now, some people, just to be clear, I know some ladies do not like to include all their information right up front. I understand that. So if you're not comfortable with that, you can take that. So we're not knocking any points off. We don't have to start all over again. Good job. All right. So now we're going to talk about, good job, Stephanie. Very well done. I will not remember your name in a minute. Just remember that, okay? So now we're going to talk about asking for the appointment. The reason most agents don't get an appointment is because they never ask for one. That's the biggest problem that you'll have. So if all I do today is make you ask for an appointment, then we win, okay? It's a win. So we're going to keep this moving. All right. So we're going to take control beginning with your first word. So you're going to be the first person to ask a question. Is this John? is our first question, okay? And then we want to start with closed-ended questions, and we're going to keep those going until we get the appointment. After you get the appointment, if you want to have a different kind of conversation, which we'll talk about, then you can, but that's okay. All right. So we're going to do, is it Bridget? Oh my gosh, that'll never happen again. Good job. All right, Bridget, you want to be the customer or be the customer? You want to be the agent? You be the agent. Okay, go for it.
Good morning, John. This is Bridget with Keller.
Who is this?
Hi, this is Bridget. Bridget Venus with Keller Williams Premier. Is this John?
Yes. Okay, so now we're going to move on. So now you can stop right there. Good job. Now, how did you do? Good. Okay. Be careful. A couple times you were starting to go up on me, just a little bit. Okay. It's cool. It happens, but you'll get a chance to practice later. So now what we're going to do, the customer says, yeah, this is John. So now I'm going to say, because usually with these leads, there is a point of reference. They're trying to sell a home, they have a FSBO, they have an expired listing, or they're looking at 123 Main Street, right? Something. There's a reason, there's a property involved. When there is, this is going to work. So I see you're looking at this home in Covington. Is that correct? So you notice two things. Number one, I didn't give them an address. I really don't care which home it is in Covington. It could be all of them for all I care. It could be one in Australia. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I see they're looking at it. Is that correct? Now, they think I know what they've been doing, which I do. But they think I know what they've been doing. They think I know what house they're looking at. I don't necessarily. It might, but if you have a Zillow lead or City, you will, but not necessarily. So if they've been poking around on your website, you can see that on your CRM, then you have, so I call them, I see you're looking at this home in Covington, is that correct? And they're going to say, yes. Say, great, did you want to, what's problem with this sentence? First word, what's the problem?
Great.
Yeah, don't say great. Say, okay, did you want to see it today? So I just asked them another closed-ended question, okay? Is this John? Yes. I see you look at this house in Covington. Is that correct? Yes. Did you want to see it today? Yes or no question. Okay. It's really, really simple. All right. And they say that would be great. They can use great all they want to. Okay. Before 5 or after 5, which is better? Okay. So first of all, just in case you're not thinking this way, most of you probably are. The answer to this question is 2 choices. That's all. It's yes or no, before 5 or after 5. It's 2 choices. So if you make too many choices, you're going to lose them. If I say, hey, David, when do you want to see that? David starts thinking, well, my daughter has softball practice and my wife is doing that thing tonight. And then on Thursday, aren't we supposed to go? No, Wednesday it's church. I mean, they're starting to go, there are 365 days in a year and 30 something in a month, depending on which month, and 7 in a week. And then my wife wants me to work on Saturday in the yard. I mean, they're gone. I don't know where they are, but we're not making an appointment. So keep it simple, before 5 or after. After 5. Sometimes your customer won't know what their schedule is. Help them out. Oh, I don't get off work till 5, so it's not going to be before 5 then, right? Would I be right on that? Okay, John. Again, not awesome. I'm actually thinking in my head, awesome, right? Because I get to meet a customer. It's okay, John. I just use his name again. If you know their name, use their name. At least 3 times during the phone call. There are numbers that suggest that 3 times during a phone call, for some, use their name 3 times during a phone call, creates a sense of connection that you don't get otherwise. I don't know the psychology behind it, but if it works, I'll use it, right? That's what I'm going to do. Okay, John, I'm going to set this appointment for tonight at 6:30. Is it all right if I call you when I get confirmation? Again, keep your voice, don't celebrate on the phone. Celebrate when you get off the phone, okay? Don't celebrate on the phone. This is your job. You're doing them a solid, right? You're doing them a favor. You're going to show them a house that they want to see. That's why you called, okay? And he's going to say, that would be great. So think about this like a funnel. I'm going to say, is this the buyer? Yes. Is this the right property? Yes. Did you want to see it today? Yes. Before 5 or after? After. 6:30 okay? Yes. I just made an appointment. How many seconds was that? See what just happened there? And we haven't talked about if it has an HOA or if I'm the listing agent or if it's got fiber network in the underground. I don't like all the crazy things people ask. We haven't even done that yet. Now, do I want to know all those things? Yeah, I do. Absolutely. But we haven't had that conversation yet. Now, it would be really nice if all the conversations went like this, wouldn't it? But they don't. All right, that's okay. So let's talk about some monster obstacles to setting an appointment, because no phone call sounds like this. So the first one is becoming a helper. So this is what very often happens. We get into a conversation with somebody and they start wanting to tell us about their ex and how difficult it's been to raise this child on their own. And he's supposed to be getting a football scholarship over here, but I can't get him out of the schools because I can't find a house. And then, do you think this mole on my neck is getting bigger? You know, I mean, we go, and then, can I tell you about how awful my ex-wife is? Right, so, right, and you end up becoming a social worker instead of a real estate agent. Or you become, you become a lawyer, or a nurse, or a doctor, or a psychic, right? Exactly, right? They want you to be everything but what you are. Let me just tell you this: if you forget what your job description is, you'll be broke. Okay, you just don't, because you're going to solve problems that aren't yours. Okay, I'm not a lawyer. I do not know how divorce. I've been through one, but I don't know how divorce works from the lawyer side. I'm the wrong person to give you marriage counseling, sir, because I'm divorced. Okay, so. No, I do not know how women think. I'm divorced, right? That's the whole. So, and like sometimes you'll get all kinds of things, but don't let them distract you from what you do. So if somebody says, "Well, you know, my grandfather was an axe murderer," man, that must be awful. Do you like this kitchen? I mean, you just got to keep on moving, okay? You can't get stuck in it, okay? Because if you do, you're going to be broke and you'll forget what you did for a living and you'll go get a job at McDonald's. That won't help. Number two is get specific before you get an appointment. We're going to talk about this specifically in just a minute, but if you start answering questions about whether this house has an HOA or a pool, or if it's a saltwater pool, or when the last time the AC was updated, you'll never make an appointment. They're going to talk you out of it. Stop. I'll show you how to do that in just a second. Don't worry. I know some of you are going, but he's asking the question. All right. Don't look at the property. You don't need to. You don't need to. Don't answer questions before you get an appointment. Your goal is to get an appointment. If I can't make an appointment today, I'm going to make an appointment to make an appointment another day, right? I'm going to, Zeke, if today's not good, is next week. I know you don't have time to talk today. I know you're in a meeting. When's a better time for me to call you? Would Monday be good? Is before 5 or after better? You see what we're doing there? All I'm doing is just, I'm making an appointment for another thing, but I'm going to get an appointment, but we're not talking about anything else. Okay, it's what's going to happen. All right, and finally, you don't want to move forward on the call until you get the appointment. If you start talking about how bad they want a saltwater pool instead of a freshwater pool, you've lost your opportunity to get an appointment. It's hard to drag them back to that starting line. So get the appointment first. I know there's always, Phil, you have tons of questions, but it'll make some more sense in just a second. All right, we're doing a quiz. I don't know your name. Tatiana. Okay, I heard somebody say that earlier. I did not put it together, but that's cool. All right, Tatiana, you know the stakes here, so don't mess it up. What's the goal of every phone call? Is it A, to make an appointment, B, to introduce yourself to the customer, C, to find out if the customer has an agent, or D, I still don't know what the goal is. Okay, good. Very good. All right, we will go with, tell me your name again. Kimberly. Okay, I should have known that. See, I told you it's going to be bad. Kimberly, in order to achieve the goal of making the appointment first thing, you should always, A, be the first person to ask a question, B, talk loud, C, assign a nickname to the caller, or D, get the property. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Or D, get the property pulled up on your computer. Which one? C, assign a nickname to the caller.
Hey, be the first person.
We were almost one. I was right there, man. Be the first person to ask a question. Very good. Well done. All right. So we only have one quiz left, and it's at the end. So I know, so you're free. All right, so we're gonna walk in, we're gonna fly okay, some of you are still awake, that's good. All right, so we've talked about the 10-second introduction. We've talked about asking for the appointment first thing. That's the number one thing we've got to get on our head. And now we're gonna take control of the call. Sounds like this. I'll do this one real quick, but somebody's on the hook. Ooh, I didn't even see. What's your name? Shane. Okay, Shane, you be the agent. All right, you can substitute your own name. Okay. Go ahead.
Good morning, John. This is Shane with Keller Williams.
Good. Who's this?
Shane Johnson with Keller Williams Premier. Is this John?
Okay, good. Watch out for the clap. Yeah, you heard it. You start playing. She wanted it before I did, right? Very good. Okay, that's good. So go ahead. Yeah, this is John. Go ahead.
You're looking at a home in Covington. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Do you want to see that today?
Careful. Careful. It's hard, isn't it?
No, it is hard, because it's the way we talk, it's the way we talk normally.
Yeah. It is a question. You're thinking about it. But you got to keep the roller coaster driving at your speed on your hills. So, okay. Do you want to see that today? Do you want to see that today? It does. And that's exactly what I want. That's exactly what I want. I know it feels weird because you're trying to make a connection with the customer, right? And I want to make a connection with the customer. But I want to get the appointment, and the customer will use the connection as an excuse to get out of making the appointment because the customer already thinks you're a car salesman. They think you're going to sell them something they don't want, that they can't afford, that they'll regret. I'm trying to not be a car salesman. Correct. Okay, we're good? All right. So good job. All right. That would be great.
John, is that 5 or after 5?
After 5 is going to be better. Oh, who's paying $5? Who was that?
All right, I'll set this appointment for tonight at 6:30. Is it all right if I call you when I get confirmation?
Okay. Hard. It's hard to think.
No. It's hard, but I hear you tried. I heard you try before.
That's good. So this is all just part of you got to train yourself. You got to be the best at your job. And when the next time you get a spam call, you'll hear they either do this or don't. You'll know the ones that do because you won't want to hang up on them as fast. It'll make you mad when you realize that they're doing this to you on purpose. Okay. That would be great. All right, so let's talk about redirecting distractions, okay? Because no phone call sounds like this, right? We can all agree with that. It's ridiculous. All right, so let's talk about property specifics. Number one, if you're ever taking a Zillow call, the number one thing that you get on a Zillow call is, does this home have an HOA? Before I can even say who I am, right? So, hi, this is Tim. Does this home have an HOA? I'm like, what? Like, okay, got it. So let's talk about it. It's going to sound like this. Good morning, John. This is Tim with Keller Williams. My shoe's untied. Who's this? Hi, this is Tim Dabney with Keller Williams Premier. Is this John? Yes. I see you're looking at this home in Covington. Is that correct? Yes. Does this home have an HOA? So the answer to that question doesn't matter, but is it a good question? Yeah, it is. What are some reasons why they might not want an HOA? What's that? The fees. What's another reason? There's restrictions. Like what would be a big restriction for somebody who owns like toys? Cars parked in the yard, boats parked in your driveway, RVs parked in the backyard, right? So this is a legit question. What about somebody who wants an HOA? Why would they want an HOA? Careful. The pool, because they want a public pool or public amenities. They might want that. Or they might want to make sure that their neighbor's grass is never 4.5 feet high, right? Right? Okay? Some people want it, some people don't. I don't know. I don't. I hate them. Okay? But I understand the benefit. Some people want them. I can't assume that Zeke doesn't want an HOA. He might want one. I don't know. So this is a legit question that I am not going to answer. Now, I can say that 2 ways. I can go, it's not important right now. Do you want to see it tonight? But it is important. Because if he doesn't want an HOA, and it has one, I'm wasting both our times. It's my gas I'm putting in my car at $4.50 a gallon to go up to Carrollton to, show a house that this guy's going to walk away from. That doesn't make any sense at all. Okay, so how are we going to deal with this? Here's how. Maybe here's how. There we go. Let's say I don't have that information in front of me at the moment. Is an HOA something you're trying to avoid? You can say that. Do you want an HOA? And we can ask it any way you want to. But what we did is I don't. Now, some of us want to look up the property. Hang on, I'll find out. No, you won't. Because the minute you find that out, the conversation's over. Yeah, that has an HOA. I don't want that one. Never mind. Thank you. They're done. Okay? Don't do that. You want to keep them on the hook, right? Literally. So I don't have that information in front of me right now, but is an HOA something you're trying to avoid? And now, in this particular case, the customer says, there we go. Yeah, I don't want an HOA because if it has an HOA, we don't want to waste time seeing it. Well, if it has an HOA, I sure don't want to waste time showing it either, do I? Right? So this is helping me. This is good information. I say, I understand. But let me just make sure I understand right. If it doesn't have an HOA, you did want to see it. Is that correct? So again, it's a closed-ended question. I'm still the master of this call. Yeah, but only if it doesn't have an HOA. You know how they do, right? I'm like, okay, got it. Let's do this. All right, so let me just stop right here and tell you this. I just changed the pronouns. Now, don't get me started on pronouns, but I changed these pronouns, okay? I changed them because I'm not, it's not a two-way conversation. It's a team. We're a team now. I just changed positions in the truck, okay? So now we're both driving this monster, okay? And I'm going to find him a place that doesn't have an HOA if he doesn't want it. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to check and see if it has an HOA. If it does, then I'll call you back and we can make other plans. Now, I already know what the other plans are, and I'll tell you what they are in just a second. If it doesn't have an HOA, did you want to see it tonight? See how that works? Okay, so there's a couple of moving parts here, but let me tell you what that is. First of all, what if I call it does have an HOA? Well, then I call it back. I'm sorry, it has an HOA. No, I find another house that looks like this one, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, 2 stories, 4 sides of brick in Loganville. That's in a community without an HOA, close to this one. Can I find that? Yeah. You know why? Because I'm a real estate agent. I got tools. And it doesn't matter how long it takes because he's not on the phone waiting for me, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find him another house, call him back and say, hey, I got great news. That house, you were right. Your instinct was right. That house does have an HOA, but I found another one right down the street. It's 4 sides of bricks, 2 stories, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath in Loganville, in the same school district, and it doesn't have an HOA. And I went ahead and made us an appointment for 6:30 like the other one, and so we're good to go. I just delivered great news, and it's not even on the house he was calling about. Okay. Now, all kinds of things can happen after that. It's not foolproof, but you see what the difference is between letting them choose and you choosing. This is your job. Choose. Okay. So he says, well, can you just find out if this home has an HOA? Can I? Yes, I can. Is that going to help anybody? No, it's not. So this is what I'm going to say. Absolutely. Now, if it doesn't have an HOA, did you want to see it tonight? Now, I'll tell you, normally, this is a real phone call. I've actually had this phone call multiple times. Normally, it's about this time they start chuckling a little bit because they know that I'm going to get an appointment. And they go, you're serious, aren't you? I'm like, dude, my job is to help you buy a house. So if we can find one that checks off all the boxes, that's what I'm here for. I think we can move on from that. All right, keep going. He says, sure. Okay, it's before 5 or after 5 better for you? We know this. He says, after 5. Okay, John, I'm going to set this appointment for 6:30 tonight. Is it all right if I call you when I get confirmation? And he says, great. All right, let's talk about listing appointments. It's not LA like California. I know some of you are like, oh. So this one's a popular one too. We'll go through it real quick. Good morning, John. This is Tim with Keller Williams. Who's this? This is Tim Dabney with Keller Williams Premier. Is this John? I see you're looking at this home in Covington. Is that correct? And he says, yeah. And he says, are you the listing agent? Now, am I the listing agent? Probably not, right? Most times, no. I can say that. What happens to the conversation? Yep.
So if you're a listing agent, then why are they looking at a property, that property?
Well, like homes.com has your information there.
Yeah. So same thing. Yeah.
If they click on your information on homes.com.
Yeah. People think. Yeah, that's good. So people think that they're calling the listing agent because they call the picture on the side of the page there, but they're not. That's advertising. They're calling an agent who paid to be on that page to get that lead. Okay, it's Zillow or whoever they're paying. So they think they're calling a listing agent, or they think that they're talking to a listing agent sometimes. And so when they do, you can say, no, I'm not the listing agent, and that will be the end of the phone call. Been the end of many of one for me. So this is a better way to do it. So I work closely with the listing agent for this property in Covington. Did you want to see that property today? Is this true?
Yes.
It is. If I go see the house and I show tour the house with him, and we go under contract, I'll definitely be working closely with the listing agent, right? I work closely with all the agents in Georgia. At one point in time or another, if it's all possible, right? I want to do something with everybody. He says, well, I want to talk to the listing agent. You know why he wants to talk to the listing agent, right?
Who you are.
Exactly. Okay. And so while we're closely with the listing agent, what questions would you like me to relay to them? And he says, well, I don't want to have to use you as an agent so I can save money. Okay. Let's just stop for a second. Does that make sense? No. It doesn't to him. But in real life, it doesn't make sense at all. The listing agent has already negotiated their commission. If I'm the listing agent, If I'm the listing agent and I get 6% commission and, I'm sorry, thank you, compensation, I get 6% compensation. And a lone stranger just walks down the road and says, I want to buy this house. I don't have an agent. Do you think I'm going to say, well, let me cut the price down 3% so I can get less money? No, I'm going to take it all, baby. And I'm going to represent you too if I can get away with it, right? I didn't say that really. We don't do a dual, so don't do it. All right. I sure can. So I think I totally understand that motivation. Is it stupid? Yes. But do I understand it? Yes, I do. Okay. So if the seller was willing to work under those conditions, would you want to see the house tonight? Because if the seller's not willing to work under those conditions, that's fine. But if you don't even like the house, this is a waste of our time. If you get in and go, oh, never mind, then we need to go find something different, right? You see how this works? So don't let the customer do your thinking for you. You're a real estate agent. Do your own thinking. He says, well, it depends on what he says. I can't afford to pay what he's asking, but if he didn't have to pay commissions, he could sell it to me for less. It's dumb. But now, I could explain this to him on the phone. What do you think is going to happen? Hang right up. I'll never hear from him again. I don't want to do that. Can I explain it to him in person? Yes, I'll do a lot better job in person, and you will too. Most of us do better work in person than on the phone. So I'm going to say, look, I totally understand what you're saying. I do. It's dumb. But I'm not going to tell him that. So let's do that. See what I did there? Right? We're now on the same team, even though he doesn't want me on his team. Let's do this. I'm going to check with the listing agent to see what the seller has in mind. Would you like to take a tour of the property tonight? And he's going to say, well, I don't want to waste anyone's time, and I don't want to drive out there if we can't work something out. Whose time is he worried about? Not mine. His time. That's right. I don't care. If I can get an appointment, you get me free for 30 minutes. After that, I'm on the clock. We'll make something happen. So let me make sure I understand you. If the seller is willing to work on your terms, you may want to buy this property. Is that correct? So closed-ended question. See what I'm doing? I'm taking him somewhere. Where am I taking him? To an appointment. Right. Very good. Okay. He goes, well, I think so. Why do you say I think so? Because he doesn't want me to sell him something. He's afraid of this, right? I'm not trying to sell him something. I'm trying to help him. Now, will I make money off of that? I hope so, right? But this is what we're doing. So, okay. So at that point in time, you would want to see it. Is that correct? And he's going to say, well, yeah. Now, he's not happy with me, okay? But I say, okay, then I suggest we see it as soon as possible so that if terms and conditions are agreeable, we don't miss out. We, all the way home, right? That's what we do. Is tonight or tomorrow better for us to take a tour? I don't really like this. In this case, I would say it's tonight before 5 or after 5 better, because if I say tomorrow, I'll lose him again, okay? So that's, see, even I make mistakes on my own business, okay? And he says, well, I guess tonight. By the way, really happened in real life. These are not made up phone calls. I've taken some of the language out for you. I said, all right, John, is before 5 or after 5 better for you? After, got it. I'm going to pass on this request and get the appointment set for tonight at 6:30. Is it all right if I call you when I get confirmation? He says, yeah. All right, let's talk about, we're going to confirm the destination. This one's real quick. We're very close to being done, so just hang in there. We're going to walk in and fly out. Hey, good job. Well, we've been through the 10-second introduction. We've asked for the appointment first thing. We're not going to play. We're getting the appointment. We're going to control the call with our closed-ended questions, okay? We know how to redirect distractions. This is like a kid, by the way. If you have children, you know this. Your kid comes in and they want to play on the Xbox, and you have other things they need to do before they can play on the Xbox. So you give them a list of 3, and they come back after they've done one and go, Mom, I've done one. Can I play on the Xbox? Did you do the other 2? No. So you just redirect them the whole time. You could yell at them. Same difference, right? But instead, you just redirect them. Just redirect them. Redirect the questions the whole time. All right. Let's talk about location and motivation. Good morning, John. This is Tim with Keller Williams. Who's this? This is Tim Dabney with Keller Williams Premier. Is this John? I see you're looking at this home in Covington. Is that correct? Yes. Fantastic. Oops. See what I did? I mean, it's my nature is to say those superlatives. You can't do that. Okay. Did you want to see that today? That would be great. Got it. Is before 5 or after 5 better for you? After 5. Okay, John, I'm going to set this appointment for tonight at 6:30. Is it all right if I call you when I get the confirmation? And he says, sure. John, are you trying to stay in the Covington area, or have you looked in other areas? This is a great question. Let me tell you what a bad question is have you I can't even say it. Have you looked at any other homes? If you ask them that question, they're going to give you a list of 38. What are you going to do with that? Nothing, right? So don't ask them that. stay in control with the closed-ended questions. Are you trying to stay in the Covington area, or have you looked in other areas? Okay, well, we've been looking in Conyers as well. I understand. Not fantastic, not great. I understand. What interested you about this house? And they say, well, they're going to give me their sob story now. This is not a closed-ended question, and you can see the problem already. This answer is way long, right? So they're saying our son's going to play football at Freestyle High School this year, and we need to be in the school district. Now, I like this because they're already saying our, us, and we. Okay, that's fantastic because I'm going to copy that. Congratulations on our son. Yeah, congratulations on your son. So we need to stay in the Eastside High School district because your son's playing football for Eastside High School. Do I have that right? And they say, yeah, that's correct. And now, by the way, the only person that knows if what you're thinking is what they're thinking is them. Just because you repeat their words back, if you're married, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Just because you speak English to the person across the room does not mean that person hears what you just said. In fact, sometimes they'll come back with a response and with evidence that they have no clue what the heck it is you were just talking about. Your customer's the same way. So I always say, Claudine, it sounds like you guys need to stay in the Eastside School District because of your son. Is that right? And then she's going to say, yes, which means I got it right. If she says, what are you talking about? No. Then I have to go back and go, I'm sorry. Can you say it to me again? Because maybe I misunderstood. This is polite. I just need to make sure that Claudine and I are on the same page because I'm about to represent her in a deal, right? So I want to make sure I get it right. So if I can find some homes similar to this in the Eastside High School District, would you want to see those as well? Well, yeah. I mean, who wouldn't, right? Now I've just taken on the job of representing them and working for them. How easy is it going to be for me to get a BBA later on? A lot easier now, right? Because I've just shown them value, right? I've represented value. All right. Let's talk about saving a marriage. You ready to save a marriage? Some of you are like, you're too late. All right, so here we go. So we're walk in, fly out. Okay, good job. All right, so we've talked about 10-second introduction. We've talked about asking for the appointment first thing. We have talked about controlling the call with closed-ended questions. You're going to love this when you do it the first few times. It's going to change your whole world. We talked about redirecting distractions because that's what the customer is doing to get out of doing what you want them to do. And we talked about confirming the destination with location and motivation. This is easy. Now we're going to save a marriage. That's this way we do this is with restate and recap. Okay? So let me tell you why this is weird. It's weird because if I call Zeke and I talk to him and I have a great conversation with Zeke and we decide that we're going to see this house tonight at 6:30, is it all right if I call you back when I have confirmation?
Yes.
Perfect. He hangs up the phone and his wife says, are you married?
Yes.
Okay, good. Right answer. She told me to ask you that. I was just making sure. So his wife is going to look at him and say, what did he say? And Zeke is going to say, no, you won't. Zeke is going to say, I don't know. That's what they do every single time. Women do it too, guys. Don't worry. It happens, okay? Well, women do it, though, because they don't want you to know what he said. That's different. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make sure Zeke actually has it right. I told him what we were going to do. Now he knows what we're going to do, so that's what we're going to do. So we're going to repeat what the buyer stated in a way that demonstrates you understand what they're trying to communicate, and they confirm that. We already talked about that. And then we're going to concisely outline the plan. You should have a plan. You should communicate the plan. You should write the plan down in your notes on your CRM, and then you should set an appointment for the plan. I don't care if all you're doing is set an appointment and calling back to confirm with Zeke that we're going to see it at 6:30. Go up there and set a little reminder that says call him back. You can't leave the page until you've either checked off all the boxes or made new ones. You have to have a plan. If you have a plan but you don't tell them the plan, they don't know the plan. It's not a plan. It's a dream that will never come true, okay? If you have a plan, you tell them the plan, and you don't write the plan down, you may not remember what the plan was, and that's going to cause problems with his wife, okay? It's just going to be the problem, right? So if you have a plan, you wrote down the plan, and you communicate the plan to him, and he knows what it is, that's great. But if you forget to call back and fulfill the terms of the plan, you suck as an agent. Don't do that. We don't want to suck. No suckers, okay? All right, so this is what it sounds like. Good morning, John. This is Tim with Keller Williams. Who's this? This is Tim Dabney with Keller Williams Premier. Is this John? I see you're looking at this home. He says yes. I see you're looking at this home in Covington. Is that correct? Yes. Okay, did you want to see it today? Well, that would be great. Okay, got it. Before 5 or after 5 better for you? Like the roller coaster hasn't even left. We're still sitting, we're buckling everybody in, okay? After 5. Okay, John, I'm gonna set this appointment for 6:30 tonight. Is it all right if I call you when I get confirmation? He says, sure. John, are you trying to stay in the Covington area or have you looked in other areas as well? Well, we've been looking in Conyers. I understand. What interested you about this house? Our son's gonna play football, et cetera, et cetera. Congratulations to your son. So we need to stay in the East Side School District. Do I have that right? That's correct. So if I could find homes similar to this one in the East Side School District, would you want to see those as well? And he says, that would be great. Got it. Now this is where the fun begins. So I'm going to set this appointment for tonight at 6:30. Is it all right if I call you when I got confirmation? So that's step number 1. What's going to happen next? I'm going to call him when I get confirmation. Right. He says, that would be great. I'm also going to check, Zeke, I'm also going to check and see if there's similar homes to this in East Side School District. I've made no promises about showing in those tonight, but I'm going to check, right? So, John, I'll be in touch shortly. Is that cool? And he says, yes. All right. So now we're going to scoot up. This is the end. I know you're like, right? Because you ate. It's not because I'm boring. Walk in and fly out. Good. All right. So we got the 10-second introduction. We can write that down. We got asking for the appointment. So this should be hot and heavy on your mind from now on. When you get on the phone, the first thing you should be thinking about is how am I going to get, in fact, before you get on the phone, how am I going to get an appointment? How am I going to get an appointment? How am I going to get an appointment? And then go get it. Control the call. Closed-ended questions are the magic. Do it. You'll love it. Redirect distractions. Don't let them take you on the roller coaster ride. Keep it right here. Redirect the distractions. Confirm the destination. Once you have the appointment, make sure that what they're looking for, what you're seeing is what they're looking for, okay? And now, so you want to stay in East Side School District, that looks right. 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 4 sides brick, that looks right. I can find something similar to that, right? So you're good, okay? Then we're going to save a marriage by making sure that we have a plan, that they understand the plan, and that they can communicate that plan to their significant other. All right, so this is what this looks like in math. You want to set the appointment 80% of the time. Oops, sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. You want to set the appointment 80% of the time. Now, I can do all the other metrics with you, but we're not worried about those for right now. If you set the appointment 80% of the time, then you will have appointments where you meet people face to face. That's what you want, okay? So that when you get in front of them, you're gonna have the tools. I mean, I can put any one of you. If I put you on my team, which you're all welcome to join. If I put you on my team, and I gave you leads, and you got in front of the customer, I could be absolutely confident that every one of you could deal with the customer face to face. I don't care if you're new or old, because face to face makes more sense than on the phone. We just understand body language and all that kind of stuff. So so all I need to do as your leader, if I was your team leader, I just need to make sure you get in front of customers. Because if you get in front of customers, you're going to close deals, right? Most of us feel pretty confident about that. I know for me, if I get in front of a customer, that party's on, okay? I got a listing appointment tonight. I will close this deal tonight and I will get this listing. I'm not worried about that because I know that I'm that good. I mean, I'm not bragging. It's just we know what we can do, right? We know our skill set. So this is the goal of making an appointment, is make an appointment, get in front of more customers. You get in front of more customers, you will definitely sell more houses. All right, so you can remember this whole thing with the CAR acronym. So number 1, we're going to connect, however you connect. You pick up the phone. Hi, John, this is Tim. All right, that's easy. Number 2, you're going to acquire the appointment. It's the only thing that's worthy of your phone call. Get the appointment. And finally, if you can't get the appointment, you're going to redirect until you can get the appointment. Okay? We're going to keep going around in circles until we get what we want. Okay? Now, you'll find ways to do this that don't sound like me, and you'll be happy about that, and I understand that. Okay? But you've got to figure out how to do this. You got to be able to do it consistently, and you have to be as confident at this as you are as when you get in front of a customer. Because I know some of you are like, if I've got an appointment, that party's on, I'm going to win. But you have problems with this. This is the hardest thing that we do. So drive that car, connect, acquire, redirect until you acquire. So there you go. All right, so one last time. This is what it sounds like. We'll do Claudine. I haven't picked on Claudine yet. Claudine's my friend. Do it.
Good morning, John. This is Claudine with Keller.
It should be. Who's this?
This is Claudine Mathis with Keller Williams Premier. Is this John?
Yeah.
I see you looking at this home in Covington. Is that correct?
It is.
Okay. Do you want to see that today?
That would be great.
Got it. Is before 5 or after 5 better for you?
After 5.
Okay, John, I'll set this appointment for tonight at 6:30. Is it all right if I call you when I get confirmation?
Sure.
John, are you trying to stay in the Covington area or have you looked in other areas?
We're looking also in Conyers.
I see. What interested you about this house?
Our son needs to stay in the East Side High School District.
Congratulations to your son. So we need to stay in the East Side School District because your son is going to be playing football for East Side High School. Do I have that right?
That's correct.
If I can find some similar homes in the East Side High School District, would you want to see those as well?
That would be fantastic.
All right, I'll set this appointment for tonight at 6:30. Is it all right if I call you when I get confirmation?
That'd be great.
I'll also check on similar homes in the East Side School District. John, I'll be in touch shortly.
Perfect. So, you see how easy this is? It's not hard. It's just it's a matter of, you don't have to memorize anything. That's the beauty of this. There's no script to memorize. Now, if you want to memorize a script, I don't have any problem with that. But you can use these simple tools that you learned today. So now we have the final exam. It's 3 questions. And you know what happens if we get any one of them wrong? Right. That's right. It's going to be a long day. All right, here we go. Everybody play. All right. So what's the initial goal of the phone call? Very good. What's question number 2? What's the most important thing you can do on the first phone call? Y'all don't sound very confident. There you go. And how do you know if you did a good job on the initial phone call? That's right. So you guys just walked in and now you're able to fly out. You got to do your own spandex and capes. We don't provide those here at Keller Williams. But give yourself a hand. You did a good job. Thank you. What? I thought somebody asked a question. You guys did a good job, though. Good participatory class. Everybody played. Yeah.
When I was looking for a house, I had a list of houses I was interested in.
Yep.
Should we refrain from asking for their list? Like, hey,
yeah. Think about this. Think about your list when you were looking for a house. So let's say you had 20 houses. Okay. How many of those houses match specifically all the things that you actually wanted in a house?
So all I could have was the kitchens. I was saying,
stop. Okay, so here, if I were your agent, here's what I would do. I would get you in one house. I would say, meet me at one house, 123 Main Street. I would get you in that house, and then we would have this conversation. So, do you like this house? And you were probably, on the first house, you're probably like, it's okay. It's not really what we had in mind, right? Probably what happened in real life, wasn't it? Okay? So, well, what do you not like about it? And you would give me a list of things. Well, so tell me, so you don't like this kitchen. What is bad about this kitchen? Well, we really want something that is updated. Okay, so are you looking for stainless steel or what are you looking for? And you're going to tell me what you're looking for. Probably your wife is going to tell me what you're looking for, right? I'm like, okay. Then you say, but it didn't have enough bedrooms. I thought it had 4 bedrooms. Do you need 4 bedrooms? So now what I'm doing is when I walk out of that meeting, what I've got a list of things that you require in a new house. And this one didn't have it. I guarantee you 18 out of the other 19 don't either. And so what I'm going to tell you is, here's what I'm going to do. I know what you're looking for. Now, have you started working with a lender to determine what your buying power is? Do you have a pre-qual letter then? Okay, shoot me that pre-qual letter. How much are you pre-qual for? Whatever the number is, right? So now I have a target number, $250,000, $500,000, whatever it is, right? I got a target number. I know that you want an updated kitchen. Your wife is not going to play in a kitchen that doesn't have stainless steel. We already know that. And it needs to be big enough with an open floor plan to entertain your family at Thanksgiving, right? I got to have that, okay? And we need a large backyard because you want the grandkids there, right? Or your kids there, whoever. And you don't want to be on you'd prefer to be on in a subdivision where there's not a lot of drive-through traffic. Okay, well, with that information, I can narrow down a dozen. I can get you down to 3 pretty quickly. And so now what I do is I say, when we're leaving, I say, okay, I know what you're looking for. Let me go home. I've got a few ideas already. Let me go home. I'm going to send you some houses that match your criteria. You just tell me which ones you want to look at, and then we'll go see them. Are you available on Saturday? So I just made another appointment, right? And I am now in control of what you look at. So we're not going to go look at everything that you want to look at just because you want to see if the kitchen's nice. That's ridiculous. Because my goal, what's my job? My job is to find out what you want, find what you want, and then help you buy what you want. Okay, so if we're not buying, I'm not doing a very good job. If we're not looking at what you want, I'm not doing a very good job. If I don't know what you want, I'm not doing a very good job. So I need to find out what you want. I'm going to do that in the first house. Then I'm going to find the things that match your criteria. So like I have a buyer right now, and she's like, she wants to look at $450,000 homes, but her budget is $400,000. So why are we doing that? Well, she thinks that she's going to go in and talk them down to $400,000. She's not. Now she could talk them down to $425,000. That's possible. Maybe $410,000, but she's not going to buy it at $410,000. And so when she sends me a $450,000 home, you know what I say? It's like, I say, hey, Zeke, I sell this house over in Conyers, but you're looking at it. It's really nice, but it's $450,000. Has something changed with your lender? Because I'm going to be happy, right? I'd much rather sell a $450,000 than a $400,000. You would too, right? So that's the question. Down before I forget. So I'm going to close this down this one find the right house. You weren't buying this many houses. We only need to look at the ones that match. Does that make sense? Yeah. So you could have had to me think I'm 37 homes, and I would have had to be under contract to bid 6. You're not going to look at all the ones that don't match. I'm going to show you 3. I'm going to ask you every single one, like this house. You're going to say, or no. So if you like it, you're going to make an offer every time. I'm going to ask you every single one. I tell you that. So the first option is going to answer the question. So you don't like this house. You tell me you don't get it. So you would make an offer on it? Thank you. Thanks for listening. At the end of the day, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to figure out what you want, where is it, and how to get you in. So I'm going to ask you every single time you like this house, you say, I'm like, you're going to pick it off? That makes sense. Do you like this house? Well, yeah, I like this house. You want to make an offer? We got one more. I want to see that. I'm not letting you out there with 3 houses. Because you can only buy one, but you get 3 things. You've done 3. So we get to the third house. You like, well, I like this one. Okay. You want to make an offer? Yeah, that's inside. Can I help you? Okay, so you like this. He's the least good. You had to take one off so which one you get off. Down to 2. Okay, and now he's comparing. So that one is expensive. It has less square foot. Has open. Okay, so are you better to hit people? They look for square foot like that's. I mean, I don't care. I care about what you care about. So you got I mean, square foot is very much different. And this one has a bigger size. So you want to make an so see how this works out. All I'm doing is I'm just helping. Based on what they tell me, they giving me their criteria. I didn't make it up. They say, I love this house. Wait a minute, you told me it's going to 3. You told me, you told me you didn't want a kitchen with them stainless steel all the way through. Has something changed? Because here's what I don't want. I don't want her in that house and saying it's going to go. And you don't want that either, right? Because you got to live with them. I don't. So, and I think you're married. So see how we do. We're just gonna. I say. Sometimes I'll stand outside house and I'm pretty sure you're right. All right, when we go in. Remember how you told me that if you can have a big backyard, that's also expensive nowadays, better?
And remember how you said you want to open concept, kitchen and living room with stainless steel, so you can put for Thanksgiving or soft room? I just want to make sure we're saying when you walk in, what I find is I love to succeed. I said, if they put on the math of this, walk into the house, if all we want to make an offer on that. I didn't even ask if there were any questions online. Were there? Well, if there were, you can complain about it later. Okay. Thanks, sir.
Yes.
I have not had a chance to, so I'm going to find me some food. Good. Then we did it.
Sure. Great job, Tim. Let me turn this off.
Yeah, like the spring and that's what I'm gonna
Zeke, we have a 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Are we still keeping it? No, I don't. That's now though.
I'm thinking about the competitive things. So,
I think you earned right now.
well,
Like he kept saying, that's what I see. We fumbled it.
exactly. Yes, yes.
Oh, tell them to be in Korea. Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you.
Uh-oh.
No, good. You take this. Right. Thank you. Thank you.
No, I was talking about, you know,
What do you think? Yeah. So, how long you been in? I didn't get that one. So you're above average.
She's above that.
Yeah, the average age.
Hey, she's only been with us how many months?
The average age in the United States. I mean, you must have. So are you full time? Okay. So you need to sell a bunch. So with Bella's thing, and with any team, Bella's one. With anything, what you're gonna have is you're gonna have, you can give up some things to get other things. There's always a trade-off. So like you can stay at, you spend an agent and you have a certain pay, right? That's good. On a team, you want the team to work for you. So like when I go to listen, when I go to listen, it says, you got that person. So